3, 2, 1, go.
So let's try to make a little fork and spoon and things like that. So let's add a cylinder. We'll use our gizmo and we'll move it up. And we want to bring it towards us, but let's hit snap over here. We have 90 degrees. So now let's use this red ring and it'll only turn 90 degrees. We can turn that off for now. So now let's turn it and let's just squash it. You can make it smaller. All right, just something like that. I want to make mine a little bit thicker. Okay, so let's validate this. This is going to be a little tricky, so I'll try and move through it slowly. So we're going to validate the cylinder. Let's just go ahead and rename it to fork. Okay, so now let's hit symmetry up here. We'll hit the vertex, vertex. And the next thing we need to do is change the symmetry. Let's go to local and let's tap X to turn it off, and then let's tap Y. Let me take a look here. Y might not be the right one. Oh, there we go. So X was the right one. So in symmetry, make sure all you have is Z. Make sure Z is the only axis you have. I think that's correct. Yeah, I can see the line. And the reason that's important because Z is going straight across, and we want to stretch this up like this. So now we take the blue arrow, and we're just going to stretch it like so. Perfect. And now we can just voxel remesh it. So I'm going to voxel remesh down here, maybe like 150, 140 or so. So we'll remesh it. I'm going to turn symmetry off, and I'm going to turn vertex back to auto. So next I want to have this taper. So for that we'll use select mask, and we'll just mask off this piece here. Oh, but I have symmetry on, so I need to turn off symmetry for the mask tool. So I'm going to do the same thing, maybe around there. We'll use gizmo, and we'll shrink this part. We can move it up, and then we can take the little blue node and go like this. I actually like that, but I think this is, I didn't do the mask far down enough. So I'm going to do the mask again, maybe around here. Gizmo, shrink, move it up, and then we'll use the little blue round node to kind of make the front like this. We can move it up a little bit too. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So next we have to make the little front part of the, actually this still feels a bit small, so I think that might be a little bit better. So let's take select mask and just clear it. So now we can clear the mask. So now let's add another cylinder. So we'll press this scene menu, add, we'll add another cylinder. We'll use our gizmo. We'll move it up, and we'll shrink it a lot. And we can tap the little cylinder options, and we can just open this up a little bit. And we can also take this one and bring it in. Obviously, this is going to be our fork. So maybe something like that. And it might be nice to get these rounded. So let's see, if we tap these three little dots, we can put the subdivision up to 2. Let's uncheck this, and let's bring division Y down, and let's see if we can get that round. about division X? Oh, there we go. That's not too bad. Okay, so post subdivision is at 2. Let's see what happens if we go. We'll put it at 3. Division X is 5. Division Y is 2. So I think that works. Very happy with that, actually. So let's validate. So now we have one part of our fork. We can clone this cylinder. We'll move it over. And then we can tap here and we can add a mirror. So now we just mirrored it to the other side. Okay. So I think the best thing to do for this is to maybe add another cylinder. We're adding lots of cylinders here. So we'll add another cylinder. Oh, we could add a torus. Let's try a torus since we haven't used it yet. So let's use a torus and gizmo. Where are you at? There you are. So we'll bring it up. We'll put snap just so we can fold it towards us. Shrink it. Move it down. I think this will work nicely. Okay, so, whoops. So what we want to do here is, let's tap the torus options. So now we have the little donut. So these are the torus options. We want to take away half of this. So I guess 180. Hopefully that's 180. So I'm going to flip this. Let's make sure that we're on the torus here. Let's flip it twice. Okay. And now we can just kind of make it look like a fork. Maybe we'll go like this here. See if there's any other options. No, not really. We'll move this in. So maybe something like that. Does that fork look too weird? It kind of looks weird. Thing is, it's hard to really know what a fork looks like. Let's see if we can, no, we can't stretch it. It doesn't stretch well. All right, let's delete this. We'll try something else. So let's go ahead and add another cylinder. Okay, let's use the gizmo. We'll move it up. So the cylinder we'll just use as kind of like the base of the fork. I think that might be the easiest thing to do. So now we've shrunk it. Now we can just smush it together like so. Okay, it's not too bad. And the great thing about cylinders, you can tap the little cylinder icons and then you can sort of adjust this a little bit as you need. Still looks a bit strange. Let's make these a little bit thicker. I think that might help. So we'll move it together. Let's make this one a little bit thicker too. I think that helps. And also, we can probably put all these together. So we have this cylinder and then we have the mirror. Uh-oh, what else is in there? Let's make sure we take this out of the mirror. So now we can take this mirror and validate it. Oh, these are my previous options. When you validate, make sure you're on Join Children and then hit yes. So that we'll take this cylinder and let's just join them for now. So let's make them a little bit thicker. Okay, how's that? It's not bad. Oh, you know what it is? Everything should be flatter. Not thicker like that. Everything should be flatter. It's flatter, and then it's on the bottom, and it's like a bend. It's got a bend in it, doesn't it? Interesting. It's not too bad. So let's put it all together and just see how it looks. So we'll validate. So we'll take the cylinders, the fork. Let's voxel remesh them all together around 125. Oop. We need to do more than that. So we'll try maybe 170. That's still really odd up there. I wonder why it's doing that. So let's go up to this cylinder and let's voxel remesh just these at 150. Okay. So now let's try it again. It might just have been because that was very, very small. So we'll voxel remesh again at like 150 or so. Oh, it's still doing that weird thing. It's so strange. Look at that. Oh, and I think the outsides would probably be folded in or something like that too. This is terrible. So now let's use the tube tool, and we can try to make the little prongs of the fork. We'll give it a shot. So I think I want to use path. We don't need snap. So I'm going to place the pencil down here, and I'm just going to add this to where I want it to end, like this. And then we'll hit the little green button. So let's add a node here. Maybe one here as well. So we kind of want our fork something like this. I'm going to turn it to the side because I think forks go straight and then they kind of dip and then they go out. Kind of like that, right? I think that's what I want. I think. Okay, so let's use radius and let's make this side smaller. We'll keep that side as it is. We'll use profile. I think that actually works fairly well. I don't think I need to really change much. So let's take radius again. So now we have all three, and let's tap here because I think we need to make this a little bit smaller. And I'm going to move this node kind of like that. Let's hit mirror. See how it's looking. I mean, it looks forky. It's a little chunky, but I don't mind that. You can always make it a little bit smaller with this. I think that looks great. So let's take this tube and clone it. So now we have double. We'll use the gizmo. And I actually want the gizmo, I'm going to hit front even though it's hidden by this. Now I want the gizmo to move it exactly left and right. So I'm going to hit align. And I'm going to move this over like this. I'm going to take the blue ring and I just want to straighten these out a bit. But let's turn off snap because snap will keep it trying to move it 90 degrees. Ooh, and our symmetry is in the wrong spot. So let's do pivot, center, pivot. And now let's try to move it again. So that's good. That's what we want. So now I'm just going to slowly move it and adjust it until the front part is pretty much where we want it to be. So something like this. Pretty even on top. Okay, so let's hit the little line options and then we can just adjust these parts. We'll get rid of one and we'll just kind of adjust these until they are what we want. So let's maybe move them down. Let's make this a little smaller. I'm going to add another node because I feel like forks kind of... they're kind of flat. Like I feel like this goes flat across. But I guess we could always add another shape for that. I mean, it's a decent looking fork, so the only problem is, let me bring this back some, maybe make it a little wider. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. Feels good. So now just adjust them to be exactly what you want. Maybe I'll move them a little bit closer. Something like that. Maybe I want these to be a little bit more... do something like that. I like it. So let's Voxel remesh and see what we get. So I'm going to do a quick save. And I'm going to go ahead and validate all of these. So we'll take this mirror. We can just validate everything. So then we have these two. We'll do a Voxel remesh, maybe around 200. We'll try to keep a lot of detail. We'll smooth it out, see what we get. Whoops. Oh, it's not too bad, but we still lost a lot of shape there, unfortunately. So let's Voxel remesh just this part at 200. And then let's Voxel remesh them both together around 250. Okay, let's try smoothing now. It's not bad. I'm going to smooth that out very softly so we don't lose too much shape. But I don't think I've ever made a fork before, so I'm pretty happy with it. It's a terrible fork. I had so much trouble with this fork. It's way too complicated to add to this tutorial. So I'm just going to add it as a free extra. And I think I'll try to make a spoon as well. And I'll add that as an extra because this just took forever. I'm sure there's lots of way more efficient ways to create one. It's just certain things Nomad isn't the best at. And, you know, so now I have a fork that's like 60,000 vertices that probably shouldn't be, but it is what it is. Just have to make a knife now. I'm going to make the knife now. This will be a time lapse because the utensils are going to be included. How do I want to make a knife? Whoop, wrong shape. So the first thing we want to do is turn our environment off. So we go here to the shading tab, go all the way down to environment, and just tap this environment. And then we can add our first light. Okay, it looks pretty good. So one thing we want to do is oh, dang it. Why are you not straight? Bro. What is going on? What are you doing? So I'm going to go ahead and try to optimize the scene as much as possible. Well, forgot to color this. Color it close to the table. Maybe something like this. Okay, so essentially what that means is just either decimating or using the new quad remesher. So if you have quad remesher, I'm probably going to use that a decent amount. Let's turn on the wireframe and we can see how crazy the wireframe is. So here's the little table. We can probably just decimate it, but let's see what we can do with the quad remesher. It's not that big, it's 2000. So let's see what happens. Symmetry, I think it is symmetrical. Let's turn symmetry off and remesh. Looks okay, but we're still getting a little bit of, I think that's fine for that. It's not that much. Eggs, on the other hand, are a lot. So they're 27,000. Let's see if we do 15K. We remesh the eggs. Okay, it's better. You can't really see any difference, so we'll do the same thing with this one. And since that looks good, let's put it down to 6,000. See what we get. Okay, eggs still look good. Now we have our spoon, which is really big. 90, I think it's, can't even see, 98,000. 6,000 will probably be too small. Oh, it failed. Let me do a save. Let's try now without symmetry. Okay, so let's try with 25K. Better, but well, can't actually, it's not actually that bad unless you're looking at the wireframe, to be honest. But let's undo. So let's see what happens if we just decimate this. So we go to miscellaneous, we'll decimate, 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 decimate. So now it's 6,000. So let's see if we can just go to 6,000 and remesh it. See what we get. No, it's still broken. But anyway, at least we were able to decimate it down to much, much smaller. So I'm assuming it'll be the same with this. Let's try 50,000. I like to do it with wireframe on, but I keep forgetting to turn it on first. It's a little bit better, but you can see it's kind of broken. So let's decimate. To 7,000, that's good. Let's see, 7. I think it's still going to be broken, but I just want to see. Oh, I have symmetry on too. I need to turn that off. Okay, so we'll just leave it like that. This, it's probably be the same. The wireframe's pretty bad on this too. We're just going to decimate because I'm not too concerned about getting the wireframe clean. How does that look? I guess it looks the same. Yeah, I kind of wish that I could get cleaner topology, but I'm not sure exactly how to with this. Even if I voxel remesh it, let's say I voxel remesh it to like 140. Ooh, that looks much nicer though. So I wonder if I can do this, 5,000, and then I remesh it. Oh no, it still messes it up. But that looks much nicer. So let's voxel remesh this at 140 and see what we get. Much nicer topology. It's not perfect, but it's much nicer. But it looks nicer there, and it's the same size, so we'll leave it there. Okay, the pancakes, let's take a look at the wireframe. Those are pretty nice, actually. The syrup, it's kind of hard to see. So it's 23K. Let's see if we do 15. Okay, I think it looks the same. And the wireframe looks much nicer. So we'll leave that as is. Now the bottle, oops. The bottle is super dense. Let me go ahead and save. So it's 120K. Let's just see what we get. Ooh. It's not bad at all. This little thing, I think I can just decimate this little piece. this. Let's make this 500. Let's see if we can get some nice topology from the cork. Better. These are pretty small. Symmetry is killing me. So not much of a big change with that. Okay, this jar, let's see what we do if we move this to 6,000. Okay, we lost a little bit, but it still looks pretty good. That's weird though. Juice just looks odd. Let's smooth it, because we did change the topology, so I'm going to try to smooth this even more. It's kind of a shame that I have to do all this, but I don't know what else I would do. But it looks okay. So we're down to 402K. This glass is definitely dense, so let's go ahead and use, let's see what happens if we go down. Let's turn off symmetry. Let's go down to 10,000, which should be a ton for just a regular glass. Okay, that's much better. This 1,000 actually looks all right. I don't think I actually need any more than that for a glass. And actually, maybe I'll just decimate it. Ooh, maybe not that much. 3,000. We'll remesh it. Oh, that's weird. Look at that. I don't know why that got broken down there. Okay, that's 12.6K though. So let's voxel remesh it higher. I really want to try to figure out, I don't understand why it's going so high. Yeah, 6,000, but it's all broken. The topology is all broken. That's annoying. So we'll just decimate it to 3,000 and call it a day. All right, we did the spoon, did the bowl. We can probably just decimate this. Looks like better. That's pretty small. Okay, so this is much better. At least it's a much smaller scene. This bacon. Let's see if we can remesh this bacon. What happened to the color on that bacon? Oh, there it is. It's still there. I think we lost some quality with the bacon, so I'll probably just leave it. Let's see if we decimate, what happens. We're holding on to a bit of more quality, so I'll just leave that there. The napkin, we can probably decimate. Ah, again, this juice. Oh, right? Oh, the plate. How big is the plate? Oh, the plate's not that big. Plate's fine. This is 2000. Let's just check these. The cushions. Oh, the cushions we can definitely decimate. Chair we can probably decimate once. The legs can decimate twice. They're just legs. These legs we can decimate. And I think we're good. So 176K is not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, the syrup. Did I do the syrup yet? Syrup. Oh, the syrup's not bad. Maybe I can decimate it once. And that's fine. Wait, what is this? What in the world? Turn symmetry off and get rid of that. Where did that come from? OJ jar. Let's do a quick save. Nice. So we'll place it here. Let's update this. Let's turn this up, post-process. I don't know about the blue background. Kind of like a nice warm tone background. It's just my style, I think. Okay, I like it. Picasso. Turn this down a bit. I think I'm gonna make this light a little less warm. A little less intense. Nice, nice. And I might take this light whoop, and take it off of 90 degrees. Might be nice if this is like a window. Like this is like cool light coming in from like a window. Let me get that nice reflection off there. Yeah. Make this a little darker. Let's do something like that. So I made this, I just used the floor. I just duplicated it and made it bigger. And then I flipped it and made it like a booth. And then I duplicated it and made it a little bit bigger. And then I duplicated all that to make those walls. So that's all it is. It was just the floor plane, just like I used the table to make the chair. Really simple. So the next thing I want to do is just make a little ketchup and mustard thing. I think that would make sense on the table. Okay. Let's add a cylinder. Actually, let's leave that. Let's clone it. Now we can validate that. Clone this one. Ketchup. So we'll clone ketchup. Ketchup inner. So I'm going to, how do I want to do this? Let's see. Let's do this the easy way. Okay, so this cylinder is going to be you know what? We'll just do booleans. So ketchup. Hello?
Hello?
How's it going?
Is anybody home?
I don't think so, actually. What do you think?
So welcome back. I hope you really enjoyed the class and I hope you learned a lot. Again, I really look forward to seeing what you add to the scene. I hope that you experiment and have fun. There's lots of different ways to make certain things in Nomad Sculpt. So as you gain more experience, as you work more in the application, you'll just become more and more efficient, and it'll just be more and more fun. And of course, then you'll start doing more and more complex sculpts.